Hi there, hi DCFX trader. Back again with me, Anamila Akbar, host DCFX Indonesia with Mr. Sebastian, founder Focus. Welcome to the leading trading program DCFX US stock. This event was accompanied by WPB, and in this episode we discuss about a report card, how we did on US stocks so far. We've been doing these videos now for a few months, and so I thought this will be a good time to take a look back and do a report card on the prediction you made so far, and whether they've turned out to be true or not. We know it's not easy to make prediction in financial markets, so it's okay to be wrong quite a lot. But has the forecast of Focus been winning or losing mostly?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's maybe you have to remember that it's good to be right, but it's also good, it's equally good if you're always wrong. Because if you're always wrong, everyone can do the opposite of what you say. So the person who predicts right is good, the person who predicts wrong can also be good. But I think we can be quite pleased that the result so far is not too bad. I think most of the prediction is correct so far.
Okay, let's share by going through what you said over the weeks in these videos.
Yeah.
First of all, you said that we shouldn't worry too much about inflation, which was the big negative for the market in 2022.
Yeah.
You that we will see lower inflation. How had that worked out?
Yeah, that one I think has worked out well. That's correct. So we said that the inflation would come down, and the reason was because the commodity price, the energy, like oil, like gas, the price already came down, so the inflation should come down. And I think when we started, the inflation at that time is more than 6% year on year, and the latest last week is only 4%. So the inflation is down by 1/3, 30%. So I think that one is correct. The inflation is lower. It is lower. And it will be lower in the future, I think.
Okay, second one, and it's connected with the inflation. First, you said that inflation came lower. The Fed will cut interest rates. How is that one working out?
That one, I think maybe we're like 50% correct. So yeah, we thought the Fed would be cutting rates, and they didn't cut rates, but they stopped increasing the rates. So last week, the Fed kept the interest rate the same, so no change. So that's like 50% correct. But I still think that the Fed will cut the rates in the future because the inflation is still coming down. The Fed is now at 5.25%. The inflation is at 4%. So there's more and more room for the Fed to cut the interest rate. So in the future, I still believe we will be correct later that the Fed will cut the rate.
That sounds good. So moving on to the economy, I think as Focus, you the result of all the 35 companies covered by DCFX, and you said from the data, the economy still looks okay. Is that working out correctly?
Yes, I think that's working out correctly. So if you think back, it's not long ago, everyone was worried about recession in US, predicting that the economy would be minus. But when we look at the performance of the company, the financial result of the company, it's doing okay. It's doing quite well. And when the GDP number came out, the latest one, GDP growth is like 7-8% in US dollar, so it's also quite strong. There's no recession. And now, if you look how people talk now, I don't hear anyone talk about recession anymore. So I think that one is correct. The economy we predicted is quite strong by looking at the financial results, and I think the economy is doing better than people expected.
I agree about that. So growth is doing better than many expected. Yes, a lot of analysts were predicting a recession before, but not so much anymore. But even if the growth is better than expected, isn't it still slowing down? You expect stock to rise. How can they do that with slower growth?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So if we look at the GDP, yes, it's a bit slower, but the US is still the fastest in the world. Important to remember, the US economy is still the strongest in the world. And when we look at the company, the financial result of the company, we did see a slowdown. So the sales growth is going down. But in the first quarter result, we actually see the sales growth is increasing again. And so it looks to me like the growth is starting to go faster again. So I think the slowdown, yes, a little bit, but now it seems to be accelerating again. And remember, the share price was down last year, right? The sales, the cash flow is still going up.
Yeah.
So today there's a gap. And so the stock market can still increase, even the growth is a little bit slower.
Okay. You also say the Apple is one of your favorite stocks.
Yes.
Is it right?
Yes.
And that you expect the shares to go to a new high and for Apple to remain as the world's biggest company by market cap. How is the working out?
That one is working out perfectly.
That working out, yeah.
Yes. So Apple, I think the share price came down to like 140, something like that. And now it's like above 180, 185. So Apple, we saw from the result, the cash flow of Apple is still very strong. It's a new record high, above $100 billion for 1 year, which is the highest in the whole market. And so Apple is the first stock to go to a new high. So that, and it is still the biggest stock by far. It's almost 3 trillion market cap. To put that in context, Indonesia here is only like 1.3 trillion. The economy. And Apple market cap is almost 3 trillion. So Apple is still number one and it's the first stock to go to a new high. So definitely that prediction I think is correct.
And Apple is your favorite stocks?
Yeah, I think it's the core holding that I have.
Okay.
So not the only one, but I think it did very well last year. So when the market went down, Apple went down a bit, but not so much like other company, and now it's the first one to go to a new record high.
Okay.
I'm a big Apple fan, yes.
Okay, so Share Focus was correct about inflation, pretty correct about the Fed, correct about the economy, correct about the stock rising, and correct about Apple being the first to a new all-time high.
Yeah.
So was there anything which you got wrong?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we did get this one wrong. So if you remember a few weeks ago when DCFX launched Netflix and Tesla, we made a video about which one is the best one. And I was a little bit positive, but maybe not positive enough about Tesla. And I think Tesla is up like 40% since then, because that was just before the launch in DCFX. I think since the share launched on DCFX, the CFD, Tesla increased about 40%. So that's a lot. So we probably were a little bit wrong. We should have been more bullish about Tesla. But that's okay, because I own a share of Tesla also.
Prediction about Tesla.
Yeah, the prediction about Tesla was a little bit wrong.
Okay.
But it's okay because I own the share of Tesla, so we still got the gain.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sebastian. In this episode, you sharing about insight, record about Share Focus, and thank you for you all traders see about this episode. And don't forget, please follow our social media in DCFX, and please pay attention to managing risk. Don't forget about disclaimer, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And if you want to get more information about Mr. Sebastian, you can add Mr. Sebastian Telegram in here. You can scan. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, finally, I'm Anamil Akbar, host DCFX Indonesia, and this is Mr. Sebastian from the Share Focus. We can back again.
See you next time.
Oh, see you next time. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.